Hey guys, Bailey here from Carp Dreams, and we're waiting outside the Angling Direct shop for Terry Edmonds, a casting coach. He's going to teach me how to get my casting that bit further so I can get those fish in the middle of the lake. Now today sadly we can't really record the session because it's giving away his tips and his tricks. But later on in the video he'll give us an interview just through the short questions that you guys at home have sent in. See you then. So we're now in the back of Angling Direct. We're joined by Terry Edmonds, who casts in tournaments and now teaches youngsters and adults to get their casting up to scratch. Nice to meet you, Terry.
How are you? All right?
Yeah, I'm good. So we've been casting all day and my arms are killing. So I've had a couple of questions sent in from viewers to ask you if that's okay.
Of course it is. Of course it is, not a problem.
So the first one is, as youngsters, we have to use the same length rod as adults would. Does this impact our casting?
A long rod can slow a youngster down because they haven't got the strength, but the real issues lie in the length of the handles as well, because if you've got short arms with a long handle, then you can't finish the cast because the handle gets in the way. There is some shorter rods out there now that are ideal for the younger guys and the younger girls, but the handle lengths don't always change with it, so it's the handle length that is a bit of a problem.
So what size would you recommend?
What size rods? I think it depends on your age and all that, but I think 10 foot is quite a nice rod to learn with.
Yeah, it's quite easy to start off with.
It's easy, it's light, it's easy to move, and as you get stronger, of course, that you can use the longer rods. It's about the strength.
Also, we're talking about strength. We also need strength in our line. What sort of line would you use?
A good standard line that a lot of people can use everywhere for casting reasonable distance and reasonable strength. I always go by the thickness of the line. So a 0.35 mil is a good all-round line.
So that's strong enough and...
Yeah, it's strong enough to land fish. It's thin enough to cast reasonably well. So a 3.5 line is a nice line. I use that thickness a lot.
Is there a certain company that you'd go for?
Well, I've been using, there's a few lines that I've used over the years. I've now really used Gardner lines, GT80 is a fantastic all-round line. And I used to use a lot of the Pro Clear as well, which is a really nice line as well.
Does the colour on the line affect at all?
I've been told, I haven't really noticed it myself, but I've been told that some of the colours soften the line. But have I really noticed it in a fishing scenario or a casting scenario? Maybe. The tournament lines are often yellow, they're very soft, so maybe, but I've also cast some very soft clear lines as well, so fishing wise you pick what colour you're confident in.
Yeah, so we were on about the line, but what about holding the line, the reel? Does that have any effect on?
Yeah, it's the spool. It's all about the shape of the spool and the line lay as well. If the line lay's good, if you're trying to cast a long way, the wider big pit style reels work better because as you cast a long way, the line level still stays reasonably high, so there's no friction on the lip.
So it can't get caught or anything like that?
Yeah, that's it. And plus, line likes to be stored on wider spools. If you've got a little tiny spool and you curl the line up like that, as you pull it off, the line comes off in a coil, where if you put it around a big spool, it doesn't coil as much, it comes off reasonably straight.
So we know that with 3-ounce sleds and 2-ounce sleds, that we can get it quite far, but is that always the case? Does the bigger the ledge, always the further you can go?
It depends again on strength. For instance, most people that I teach cast best with leads between 3.5 and 4.5, and of course mainly I teach like adults. But there is a but. The line thickness plays a part as well, because if you try and cast a light lead on a very thick line, the friction and the weight of the line will slow like the lead down, so the lead won't go very far. So with thicker lines, if I'm trying to cast, I like to use heavy leads, 4-ounce plus up to 5-ounce.
In tournaments, do you use bigger leads then, or do you get a set weight?
When I used to cast in like the tournaments, there's various leads that we cast. We go as light as 1.5-ounce leads, that's 50 grams, around 1.5 ounces, and we cast all the way up to 200 grams, which I believe is around 8 ounces.
So we're on the tournament side of things. Are you still the holder of the world champ?
I've never been a world champ, but I've broke 3 UK records in the past, and I'm holder of one of the biggest fixed balls cast ever, like recorded, as far as like I'm aware, and that was a cast of let's get this right, 263 something meters, which is around 287 yards.
That's a really long way.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm personally not aware of, like in the UK, of any fixed ball cast bigger. I'm not saying that it's like a world record, but I don't know. I'm not aware of.
It certainly seems it.
Yeah, it's getting up there. So I was pleased with that one.
So when you were with the tournament, getting that cast, what do you think is the most important part of your setup?
Technique. Technique and a long, powerful rod, I think, is the most important thing.
So a good rod and good technique.
Yeah, fast, powerful rods, long rods, and just working hard on technique.
Okay, so you can get it far, and you use this, we've had a discussion, and you use this in your fishing.
Yeah.
But would you prefer distance fishing or in the margin?
I don't mind. Wherever the fish are, that's where I want to fish. I don't mind. You know, people think that because I've got like the ability to cast a long way that I always want to fish a long way, but that's so not true, because I fished for many species of fish at many different ranges, and I'm just a fisher person, an angler who can cast a long way, so I just want to catch fish. So
anywhere they are,
I'm happy fishing for them.
Alright, so now we're going to get on to the more exciting bit, as I like to call it.
It's the Carp. Not exciting.
It's the Carp Dreams top 5 killer questions.
Go on then.
And now these are the same questions asked by every interview. Okay. And at the end we're going to have like a little table just showing who answered what, and so the anglers at home can compare what they would like to do with their money and stuff like that.
Okay, fantastic.
So the first one is, as a young angler, what is the one tip you'd give them from getting their angling from okay to actually this is quite good?
I think if I could give you any tip on what to do, I think it's don't worry too much about buying the most expensive gear. Watercraft and bait. That is the 2 main things to catch fish. So, in a young angler's equipment, what's the most important thing? We've touched on this a little bit. Yeah, I think the most important thing is the bait and an effective, simple rig. Yeah. Because to catch a fish, they have to eat the bait, and to hook a fish, you have to have an effective rig. But it don't have to be complicated. Keep things simple and just find them. Yeah, so you were talking about finding the fish. On busy day ticket waters,
on the weekends, young anglers are at school and they have to get on the weekend if they want to fish.
Yeah.
How do you approach a highly pressured lake?
The thing is, if you go to, say that I go down to somewhere like the linear fisheries, that's really like pressured, one of the most pressured lakes in the country. There's often areas there that people like don't fish as much. The thing is, because that could be long, that could be corners swims, or that could be like the margins. The thing is, it's look, always keep your eyes on the water and just find out where the fish are, because the fish will move a lot on those waters because of the pressure. So I think it's, again, it comes down to using your eyes like on watercraft, and just try different things, try places where people don't go as much, because the fish know they're not fishable there.
Yeah. So Alan Blair also said that. He said that finding the fish is one of the most important things.
Yeah, and I've been lucky that through doing what I do, teaching people long range casting and all that, I've spent time with some of the best anglers like in the country, who I regard the best anglers in the country, and their like work ethic is the thing that stands out. Prepared to move, prepared to look, and that's why they catch a few more than other people.
Right, so earlier you said one of the most important part of the equipment is the rig.
Yeah, but simple, sharp hooks.
So what two rigs would you have in your tackle box?
The ones that I use the most is PVA bags, solid bags, short hook links, and the other one is just a simple hair rig blowback thing with a little ring on it that blows back. They're the two rigs that I use anywhere, because I can use the blowback rig to fish wafters, bottom baits, or like pop-ups, and they're probably the two easiest setups to tie as well, really easy.
So when we were with Alan, he said the 3-line rig would be one of his, because then he could put loads of different baits on.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Because I have to admit, I don't do too much stalking with 3-line bait down the edge. I suppose that you can float a fish with that. I've spent time with Alan. I know Alan fairly well, and he's a really good angler, and I know he's full of energy, so he'll be walking around those lakes all the time. Well, I'm getting a bit older now, and I'd like the fish to hook themselves against the lead.
Right, so the last question is a bit of a silly one, but everyone enjoys this question. What is the strangest bait you've ever caught a fish on?
Oh, that's a really good one. The strangest bait. I actually, when I was younger, a kid, about your age probably, I used to fish down Silver End Pits a lot, and I actually caught a tench on like a jelly cube. So that's probably, do you know, like you get like the jelly cubes that you put hot water in with them? And
How did you get that on the hook?
I just hair rigged it.
Oh wow, Alan.
It's a strawberry flavour jelly cube.
Alan said that when he was teaching someone, they proceeded to get their lunchbox out, and they got a grape and a beef hula hoop.
Really?
And caught on both of them.
Oh well, no, I haven't done that, but I reckon sugar puffs. I've seen people catch on sugar puffs as well off the surface. So yeah, it was just a sweet bit of jelly cube. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Next time you've got to try some jelly cubes.
I'm not advising them.
That's the end of the interview. Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
Thanks for the casting as well.
No problem.
And I hope you guys got some tips as well at home. I'll see you next video. See you then.